Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Oakwood Theme Park. In this series we're rebuilding the recently and suddenly closed attraction to allow its legacy to live on within Planet Coaster 2. In episode 1 we created the main entrance from the road as well as the teeny tiny car park. We've got lots to do today, so let's crack on. After lowering the terrain by another few meters, I laid down the service road from the car park. As I mentioned last time, these minor height variations, whilst frustrating to implement, are key to achieving a realistic park vista. Much like Alton Towers, Oakwood is sunken below the tree line. Adjacent to the car park you'll find a lovely little family train ride to provide you the option of a quaint journey into the park. The narrow gauge railway is straddled by a diesel engine created by Seven Lamb. Unfortunately, Planet Coaster only provides us with a steam train, so that'll have to do for now. As you'll notice, I already measured and drew out a rough layout before laying the track itself. Next, I adapted the terrain around the track accordingly. A key sightline from the park entrance is the sunken train track. It looks a bit like this. Well, not a bit. Exactly like this. Parallel to the station is the transfer, or siding, I guess. As I start constructing the station platform, you'll notice I surreptitiously dressed our steam train to look like a diesel train. The reason I didn't show the process is because I'm not sure if I'm keeping it yet. Before it was torn down, the real station looks a little bit like this. Well, no, exactly like this. But I decided to go off the rails and design my own. Plus, steam trains don't fare well within enclosed stations for obvious reasons. I decided on a traditional British station aesthetic, but retaining the glorious Oakwood purple and blue. It is, of course, absolutely critical that we retain the budget feel. I don't know anything else anyway. The park sign is something I did want to retain as best I could. I used art shapes and 3D font. In reality, there's a coaster decal above the text, but I went with the Planet Coaster logo, which felt quite fitting considering this is an Oakwood recreation within the game. What theme park is complete without a welcome sign, and what Welsh theme park is complete without a bilingual welcome sign? Moving on to the actual park entrance, I had to get a little creative. The real path slopes down on a curve at a width we can't achieve with just one path in the game. After multiple attempts and throwing my PC off my 5th floor balcony, I bought a new PC and opted for a brand new simple design. I adapted the terrain and then began work on the entrance proper. The wonderful thing about recreating a budget park is that nothing's too complicated. This build being a simple shelter. Makes me look good anyway, I think. Although I guess you can't tell unless you know what the real one looks like. It looks like this. A bit. No, exactly. Our entrance wouldn't be much of an entrance without any entrance gates, so I placed some down. How novel. I then added a line of fencing to stop any obnoxiously naughty people from trying to obtain free entry. I made the queue lines out of pillars and poles, although I'm sure you could have figured that out yourself. It's time for some very mundane planters. There are a wide variety of fantastic planters in this world, especially in the theme park industry. These are not those. I created them using planks, pillars and, well, a modular planter. To complement the minimal planters, I planted some bland-looking foliage, terribly overwhelming. It's worth noting that I buried some barriers under the ground to stop guests and staff walking through all these solid objects. Next to the turnstiles, you'll find a cheeky little ticket office. Doesn't this look like the most cartoon house-looking house you've ever housed? I mean, seen. With the help of a window, door and a few trims, it starts to look a bit more realistic. I was delighted to find that the hitbox for this roof is square, so I can't use it to align these planks. What's a park entrance without some garishly joyful music? So I added some speakers. Next, to cover those ghastly gaps in the pathing while simultaneously improving our accessibility with some railings. Double whammy. Back to our ticket office, I slapped some signage on the front in our park colours. It's now of course time to move on to the main event, the reason most of you are here, and for that thing what's in the thumbnail, Drenched. Drenched, formerly Hydro, was a shoot-the-shoot mega splash created by Intamin. What a lot of silly words. It looks exactly like this. I started with the surrounding pathing, which, much like everywhere else in the park, is on a myriad of different angles and gradients which was so easy to replicate. Moving on to the foundation and reservoir, I created this using a whole ton of plaster, like loads of it. I will be returning later in the series to implement all the backstage and service areas. I then naturally sunk it down into the ground so we can fill it with water. Foundations for any ride, whilst hugely time consuming, make a massive difference to the final product. I then added a service entrance and connected it to the existing service road. Wowee, we're actually placing a ride down. Can you believe it? For the ride layout, I used a controversial method. Particularly with water rides, I find it much easier to work backwards. because whenever it comes to connecting the final section of track back into the station, it never bloody works. The layout is by no means a perfect replica, and I made further adjustments later on, but it does the trick and it's definitely close enough for my liking. As you've seen, Drenched has unique scaffolding-like supports, and not only that, it has a complex framework structure under the track, not only for the chain lift, but the entire layout. Yay! I used various support pieces and it took way too long. As to whether it was worth it, I'll let you decide. Also, the advanced move angles were not my friend in the slightest, even with averaged orientation enabled, which made the entire process so much easier. Yes, I'm still going, and yes, I'm incredibly close to a breakdown. In case you're wondering, this took many hours, and I'm fine. I'm totally fine. What's even better is that the drop track type doesn't exist in game, so I had to make it myself using art shapes. On a separate note, does anyone know of a good therapist? Oh, thank goodness, something new. I added some piping to transport water from the reservoir up to the top of the drop and gave it a foundation. I used a duct unit to act as a pump to get that water up top. Time for some pathing. With the queue in place, I focused my attention on the exit, which famously doubles as a viewing platform. Folks would enjoy standing here to get themselves equally as drenched as those on ride. Unfortunately, the in-game splash is not quite large enough, but I may play around with some water effects if possible. I went fully custom with the bridge using many pillars and planks. The queue meanders its way through some coverage under the chain lift. I created this using, I don't know, a bunch of stuff. I still haven't recovered from the coaster supports. This build sports the original faded yellow of Hydro, whilst the station was updated for the Drenched rebrand. I could have repainted it, but I didn't. The station is where I became quite liberal with the design, mostly because there's little to no reference media that I could find, but also because we have to make some effort to jazz up the park a bit, right? I created custom windows using support pieces and glass. A custom operated booth using half barn doors and pillars, For the roof, I used our lovely new corrugated iron from the Western pack with some custom beamwork using pillars. I tarted it up a bit with various nautical theming, such as ropes, aquatic lamps, drapes, a crane, oxygen tank, and power generator. I created a snazzy but simple new logo for the ride using a wall sign and 3D font pieces. You'll notice by this time I'd figured out how to retain scale in Advanced Move, thanks to some helpful comments in the last video. The ride entrance is another aspect that has almost no coverage on YouTube, so I once again got creative with our version. As always, I added some final touches off camera, but the last build for today is a little ride photo kiosk, although we're still missing this feature in game frontier. Cough cough. I used a just a memento stall to allow full customization. I'm so grateful to have my locomotive rails back to use them as shutters. More Oakwood themed signage, which I'll later add some made up prices to. Finally, some floor decals. As I spend way too long adjusting these splash pieces, let me say thank you for being here and thanks so much for all the support for this project so far. Make sure to share it with all your theme park pals and join me next time as we delve down into Spooky Street. Ooh, see you then.